finally. Like, even
All right.
yeah. So thank you for coming. Like you were just one message away when he asked you for coming into my podcast. Thanks a lot, man.
No, it's okay. No, thank you for inviting me, man. It's an honor.
And the biggest problem that we had, you being in Mexico and I being in India, is the
Yeah.
time gap. Like your time is 11 hours back. Like my time here
Yes.
is it's 9 a.m. Sunday in the morning, and you are like 10 p.m. in
It's
Saturday.
like 10:30 p.m. here, still Saturday. Yeah.
So that is something.
Yeah.
It was. So thank you for
Yeah.
coming, anyways. And like even whenever you need me, I am also just one message away from you, man. That's what I wanted to tell you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah. Let's get to it.
Yeah, there's one thing I noticed that we have common with Mexicans. Like I have seen that. I did a little research and I found out that we both like spicy foods.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Indian,
indeed.
Mexican, we like
Indeed, yeah.
spicy food. That's
Yeah.
something kind of thing. It's uniting us. And also, there's one thing common between you and me. We both play guitars, and you are pursuing your career in music, and that's
Yeah.
what we are here about. And I wanted to ask you, like, how was your growing up in Mexico was like?
Okay, so I was born in Mexico City, um, almost 22 years ago. My birthday's in September. So I mean, so like but I don't live in Mexico City anymore. I live in another city right now. Um, but I lived there for about 8 years. It was fine, I guess. I mean, it's a really big city. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Like 21 million people live there. And so right now, the city that I live in, it's called Guadalajara. It's not as big, but it's still the second biggest city in Mexico. Like I mean, I think about 6 million people live here, but it's still not as big as Mexico City.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, pretty much it hasn't been like, at least for me, it hasn't been that bad. You know, like pretty much like, I don't know. I've made most of my friendships here, and I I graduated high school here. I'm going to I started going to college here, and so yeah, it's been good. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, yeah.
And regarding this is what I wanted to ask you since a long time, and in the podcast it's yeah. Why you chose guitar? And people
Oh, okay.
many people ask
That's
me
a
the
that.
same question, and I really don't have like kind of very solid answer for this, that why I chose it. It's like guitar chose me in Harry Potter, the wand chooses you, that kind of.
Yeah, yeah. I get that. I get that. So actually, it wasn't the first instrument that I learned to play. The first instrument that I learned to play was piano. But I don't know, like I like just seeing guitar players do this thing. It was like, I don't know, like it just really got my attention. And when I was in middle school, I had a friend that played guitar, and I remember that I saw him play. I saw him play at a gig, and it was like, I want to learn how to play guitar. You know, like, and so he at first he started teaching me he taught me the basics, but then he introduced me to his guitar teacher, who ended up becoming my guitar teacher too, for about, I don't know, maybe 5 years or something and before I graduated high school. And so yeah, I don't know, like it just got like it just seemed like a really attractive instrument to me, and so I chose to pursue it. Yeah. Yeah, that's my answer.
And one more thing, like you chose guitar, and is there something related to is there any person in your family or relative who are pursuing music or related to music, or why you chose this field as a career?
No, no. I mean, like I'm pretty much like the only person in my family, and at least in my close family,
Yeah.
that wants to pursue music as a career. The thing is, like, again, let's take it back to to that time when I was in middle school, when I was like 12 years old, you know?
Yeah.
So I had a couple of friends that played in a band, and I just thought at the moment I just thought that was so cool, you know?
Yes, yes.
So I chose to
There was a time when bands like there are different phases of life. Like now people are mad about entrepreneurship and YouTubing, becoming YouTubers.
yeah,
There was a time when people wanted to become Slash, and they wanted to
yeah,
become Jamie Page, and you are getting me right. Yes.
yeah. So yeah, I had a couple of friends um that had a band that played in a band.
Hmm.
And it was like, okay, so I wanted to see if I could play with them, if I could play the keyboards with them.
Yes.
So I asked one of them, the drummer, yeah, and he said yes. So he invited me to one of their rehearsals, and we started writing a song. And it was like, okay, yeah, this is cool. You know, I want to keep playing with these guys. So we kept playing, and then about a year later, we broke up. But I mean, we were like 13 years old, so like whatever. And but like I don't know, we just like um, I just kept pursuing this, and through the years, I played with a lot of bands. Most of them didn't work. So, but like 3 years ago, no, like no, even more, like 5 years ago, when I was like 15, 16,
Hmm.
more or less.
Yeah.
That's when I chose to like pursue music as a
As a
career,
career.
because somebody introduced me to this very prestigious music school in Boston called Berklee College of Music. I did a little bit of research, and for some reason it ended up becoming my dream school. You know, so like about 3 years ago, I auditioned to that school, to that university, and I got accepted. But you know, the college in the U.S. is
Very much.
it's
Yeah.
very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I auditioned and I got accepted, it was like they were like, we can't give you a scholarship right now, but what we can do is we can send you off to Canada for a while, for a year, and then you can come study with us. So yeah, I talked about it with my parents. They agreed. They sent me to Canada for a while, for about 8 months, and then I was supposed to go to Boston, but that couldn't happen because the dollar just skyrocketed, and I
Skyrocketed.
just
Yes.
ended up
Yes.
coming back here. So I just ended up coming back here to Mexico. But like right now, I'm working on a personal project, you know, producing and just recording my own songs,
Hmm.
basically writing, basically recording all the instruments by myself. So yeah, it's been like a very big journey, but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Yeah.
So when they sent you for a year to Canada, didn't
Uh-huh.
what for they sent you to Canada? Why you went Canada for 8 months?
Oh, because like I said, when I auditioned for Berkeley,
Yeah.
um, I got accepted. Yeah. So, but the thing is, I didn't get a scholarship, and I needed a scholarship to be
Yes.
able to
Yes.
go to
Yes. Oh.
Boston.
Yeah.
But so they told me, okay, we have a couple of, I don't know, like we have joint programs with a couple of different schools in the
Ah.
U.S. and in
Yes.
Canada,
Yes.
and they're a lot cheaper. So what we can do is we can send you off to one of these schools, and then you can come study with us. So we looked at a couple of different schools that had a partnership with Berkeley, and one of them was Holland College in Canada. And so we thought Canada was a pretty good option. It wasn't that expensive, and so yeah, we decided that the best option was to go to Canada for a year and then go to Boston. But I just ended up going to Canada and then coming back here to Mexico.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it happens, man. Like
yeah,
that is the beauty of life, I guess. Nothing goes as planned.
yeah. Nothing goes as planned. Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So that,
more like you are still able to pursue music as a career. That is a big thing because here in India, people don't even think of pursuing something like music and arts and theaters and stuff like that as a career.
yeah,
That is
yeah.
something I feel we are very behind the league.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, and because they don't realize that this creative career and this artist, they have a value because they don't realize they'll have their favorite singer, they'll have their favorite band, they'll have their favorite movies, but
Yeah.
when told would you like to pursue that, they would try and keep that as a
Like,
hobby, as only, not as something.
yeah, they think like people think that is not a, this is not a
Yeah,
job, that this is
this is
not
not a job.
professional.
Like
Like,
you can
mhm,
like they think you can play a guitar for a hobby, play it for someone, for your friends and family and relatives, but you cannot play it for
yeah,
thousands of people and earn money.
yeah, exactly. And like it's the same here in Mexico. Like a lot of people they have this belief that they've a lot of people have asked me, like, what do you want to study, and or like, what do you want to be when you grow up,
Hmm.
and I told them, oh, I want to be a musician. But no, no, no. Like, what's gonna be your real job?
Yeah.
I want to be a musician. No, but your real job. Yeah. And they told me, no, no, no. I mean, being a musician is not a real job. What's gonna be your real job? So yeah, it's frustrating, but whatever.
And in music school, what do they teach you there? Like, is it like something you have to choose a specific instrument and pursue that? Like, if you want to be a guitarist or a bassist, then you will be more
Um,
inclined towards playing guitar and basses, or they will teach you the basic music theory first, and then you will pursue an instrument.
it's kind of a combination of all of those things. Like, you do have to choose a specific instrument. For example, in my case, I had to end up choosing piano over guitar because. So here's the thing: when I was working on my audition process,
Hmm.
I worked with two people, with two professionals that dedicate that whose job was to help high school students get into music schools. And so these guys told me, we recommend you to audition with piano and to major in piano because there's already a huge number of guitar players at music school. So we recommend you to play piano, to major in piano. So that's what I did. And honestly, I didn't really enjoy it as much.
Hmm.
But yeah. So like in music, back to your question now. So like in music school, they teach you we start off with the basics of music theory, and it gets a little bit more complex throughout every semester. They also teach you a little bit about the music industry, music business courses and
Yes,
all that
yes.
and all that sort of thing. And the most important thing is they pair you up with an ensemble, and that's actually a course. So in my case, every semester we had to play. We had like a concert at the end of the semester, in which we had to choose three different covers, and and play them. So, and for example, when I went to music school in Canada, um, the first semester was divided into, I think it was rock music, like rock music in the '60s, rock and country. Yeah, that was it. So we ended up playing like songs by the covers by the Beatles, and Led Zeppelin, so all that kind of thing. Yeah, and then the second semester was R&B and pop. A little bit more like let me see, what would be a good example of this, like Michael Jackson and
Yeah.
all that kind of thing. So yeah, they teach you pretty much like the basics of music theory, the basics of the music business, and you do have to choose a specific instrument to focus on. Yeah,
And after
yeah.
like graduating from a music school, what do people do?
Mhm.
Like not everybody is joining a band, I guess, or not everybody is doing something of their own. Like
I mean,
what careers apart from band and their own professional playing for
ooh,
themselves are there? Like is
there
there
are a lot of careers actually. You can end up becoming like a record label executive. You can end up becoming a music producer, a sound engineer. Um, you can end up becoming a film scorer. Composing music for movies, for TV and film. And I mean, there's just a lot of things you can do. You can become a band manager. You can become a booking agent. Like there's a lot of options. Like you don't just have to play in a band. Like even though what I want to do is like I want to be a performer. I want to be a professional
yeah,
performer. But like that's not the only thing you can do.
like there are various options which you can do
Hmm.
if you are not if you, like many people have stage frights and they just don't want to do something, so they can choose from all
Yeah.
these options.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You have plenty of fields of specific fields to choose from. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, and how so far how has your music career been?
So far, like I'm just starting off. Like a couple of months. No, not a couple of months ago. Like last year. Last year in November, I released my first song on Spotify, but I did something stupid and I ended up deleting it by accident. I'll tell you. We'll get to that later. But right now, um, I'm working on a couple of I'm working on a couple of songs, and my next release, if everything goes well, is going to be in September 11th, and so like in about a month or something. I already recorded the song, uh, and I just sent it to a friend so that he can do all the post production. Like doing like all the mixing and all the mastering. Like just getting it ready to be released, basically.
Yes.
And so like there's a lot of technical things that I don't know how to do, but he does. So yeah, like he's basically a producer and a sound and a recording engineer.
So,
Yeah.
so he
Yeah.
he makes sure like the everywhere if somewhere problems like somewhere the pitch is low or high to equalize things so that
Yes, like to he basically equalizes the volumes. Like if there's anything that we have to record again, he does that. And so yeah, like most of the technical aspects are up to him. Yeah. So yeah, and the plan is to release about, I don't know, maybe 3 songs by the end of the year.
in
And
Spotify.
yeah, yeah, and hopefully release my first my debut album. I don't know if by maybe by April or May of next year.
Right.
So yeah, yeah.
Man, yeah, I wish you luck for that. I
Mhm.
hope everything
Thank
goes
you,
well. Yeah, because
thank you. I mean, with
yeah,
I
it
mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead, go ahead.
because yeah that it hurts a lot, when you are up to something with all your heart and in post production.
Yeah,
I just wish you luck that it comes out in time, because I'm sure it will come out.
yeah,
Comes
yeah,
yeah, it comes out in time. That's the thing.
yeah. And I mean, like with this freaking COVID thing going on, it's just been really difficult, you know. Yeah.
Every aspect of life is stopped. Like literally every aspect of life is stopped,
Yes. Yes.
and it is
Yes.
something. It is not even, we don't even see when it will stop, or when it will when the vaccines will come, and the numbers will start to reduce, because still now it's growing.
Yeah. I mean, like
It's not
here in
even
Mexico, the here in Mexico, like deaths are like the number of deaths is still growing, and they say that by the end of the year we will have like at least here in Mexico we will be able to have a vaccine, but we don't know. The truth is
yes.
we don't know. We don't know, and like the music industry has been really affected by this. Like pretty much there haven't been any shows, any concerts here,
Hmm.
and so right now that's where the money is. That's
Yes,
how
yes.
artists make money. And
Mostly they make money from concert, because nowadays, like in YouTube and Spotify is also, the ad revenue, it's not much
yeah,
at all.
it's not it's nothing. Pretty
Yeah,
much, it's nothing.
and now due
Yeah.
to this COVID and businesses going down, there is not no sponsorship as well. There are few companies
Yeah.
making money, like the one we are using, Zoom, and
Yeah.
they are making a lot of money in this time. But to be honest, like 90% of the business industry in every field, and mostly in creative
Hmm.
career field, it's down, and it's badly down.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Like, and it's gonna take at least I think a year to recover.
To recover from it. Yes.
Because and I mean like I think like doing all the online shows and all that kind of thing, like it is good, but to a certain point,
Hmm.
like but I don't know, like I just I was about to I was gonna go to a couple of concerts this year. I at least I was able to watch my favorite band last year, but like I was gonna go to a concert this year. It got canceled. And I was planning on starting to play gigs this year and like like to play at bars or at restaurants, or at
Yes, yes,
clubs.
yes. So
And
there are,
most of them are closed right
yeah.
now. So
It is
pretty
the
much,
starting phase of every musician, like to play in public, like small gathering, so that people
yeah,
will start
yeah.
to recognize, and it's a very important phase, I feel. And as you
Hmm.
said, all the bars and all the clubs, they are closed, so no point.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's pretty much like, I mean, at least they'll be able to, work on new music and just release new songs. But like the most important way to get your name out there and to make yourself known is by playing shows,
Yeah.
so yeah, but I mean hopefully things will get better next year,
Hmm.
but yeah,
people
yeah.
people are also guessing that by next year only these vaccines and everything will come out, and there will be a gradual decrease, because here in India, like every day, uh,
Mhm.
about 50,000 people are getting affected, like
Yeah,
they are getting positive, and by calculation, like 5% death rate, so every year about 1,000 people are dying, and every day about 1,000
yeah,
people are dying, and that's really sad.
yeah.
I thought that you might have mistakenly clicked on that end button or something. Your network issue
No,
might have.
no, no. No, the thing is, I have a I activated the time limit on my phone, so the app just quit. Uh, it's normal now.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, we can keep talking.
It's actually
So
good, to have time limits so that you don't overspend. You
yeah,
don't overspend time doing like stuffs like binging on Netflix and stuff like that. Even I have
yeah,
activated that.
yeah. I mean, for me, that doesn't really work for me, anyways. But I try. So what were we talking about? Oh yeah, we were talking about. So yeah, I do think that concerts are gonna come back next year. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna come back like in January, but like I don't know, maybe by June, July of next year, we will be able to have concerts again. Yeah, but I mean, like here in Mexico, man, like the number of deaths is increasing by the day, and
Mm.
the government is just. I mean, not the government, but like people in general, they don't care. Like they go out, they don't wear a mask.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that is the major problem actually.
yeah,
People not
they
caring
don't wear
about.
they don't wear a mask. Uh-huh.
They think.
And they don't.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they
So
think
sorry,
that
sorry.
they think that they are having very good immunity and COVID won't harm
Yeah,
them and stuff like that. But when it
yeah, and
happens,
I
it's
mean,
too late.
yeah, and they don't respect the safe distance.
Hmm.
So like, well, at least where I live, like in the zone where I live, like people do, but like let's not forget that after all, Mexico's still a third world country, and so the level of education here is not very good.
Hmm.
So so yeah, like, and what's alarming is that people don't like a lot of people don't believe that this virus exists.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same case in India, but like here in Mexico, a lot of people believe that this was made up, that the virus doesn't exist. It was invented by the government, and so yeah,
In
and
in
people are dying.
in India, people don't believe in government. People don't believe that. People believe that virus will be gone if they gather around together and pray to the Lord. And like all stupid
Yeah,
superstitions are there, like all these things, and that is the main reason virus is increasing. Because and you also cannot blame only the people. We also have this population problem. Like there are enormous number
yeah,
of people living in a small area. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like my sister, she lives in Taiwan. Countries like Taiwan, Vietnam, they are like having now zero COVID cases since 2 to 3 months, and that the reason,
yeah,
main reason is it is a small country, and it
yeah.
is a
Exactly, exactly.
yeah, and it is a developed country as well. Like they have over 80 to 90% literacy rate. People know what is happening and they know how to protect themselves.
Exactly, exactly. So how many people live in India? Like 2 billion, right, or something?
1.8, about
Hmm.
I have to check it up. Over 1 billion, that's for sure,
Yeah.
but not even
Yeah.
1.8. It's like 1.2 or 3 population
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
India. It's 1.3 billion. Like we
Yeah.
are
I
competing.
mean, that's another big problem. Overpopulation.
Of
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, back to this, back to the music industry and how I think it's been affected by this whole thing. And I mean, it's not just it's not just artists that are losing their jobs. Like people that people that work in concerts.
Mhm.
Like roadies. Technicians, like sound engineers.
Mm,
Uh, tour promoters. A lot of people, a lot of people in the show business have lost their jobs. And and yeah, I mean, they depend on the concerts to make a living,
to make a living.
and yeah, like pretty much nothing is happening right now. So yeah, a lot of people just lost their jobs. They lost their living, and so yeah, it's not just the artists, you know. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
There are various things related to concert that are done by various people, like setting up stage, and even those
exactly.
they are the lowest paid, I feel, and
Hmm.
people those who are setting up stages, I don't think that they have the ability to find a job in this crisis, and like they are suffering a huge suffering.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And and I mean, I don't know. Like I told you, I was gonna go to a couple of shows this year, and they didn't. I mean, they basically got canceled.
Yeah.
You know, like they said uh, they said that they were gonna move them to next year, but they don't know exactly when. So they are. So to me, they basically got canceled. Yeah.
I've heard this thing, like
And
many people say
mhm.
music and creative career related to creative career and mostly music, it is a expensive career to have. Like your rigs, your gigs, it will cost you a fortune, and that is also a reason I feel many people don't pursue it, because not everybody
Yeah,
can afford a Fender Stratocaster by paying 900,
exactly.
$1,100.
Yeah. I mean, like guitars are expensive.
Everything, one
Um,
Marshall
uh,
small
everything.
amplifier,
Yeah,
everything is
everything. Yeah.
expensive.
Like going to the studio is expensive.
Mm.
I mean, I'm thankful that I'm able to afford it, but it is expensive, and I don't know, like pay like just paying other musicians to play in your songs is also expensive, and buying the like buying all the necessary instruments that you need to play is very expensive as well. And so yeah, like I mean, like in the beginning, you spend more than what you gain, you know,
Yes.
than what you earn.
Mm.
Yeah,
That,
yeah,
that's the investment one has to be willing to make if he wants to enter this career. It's
yeah,
it's not
exactly. Yeah,
necessarily with artists like with drawing and stuff, but still it is expensive, like buying colors and, but in music and photography and film industry, entering
yeah,
these are expensive. Uh,
yeah, exactly. And I mean, like I've also worked in I've also worked in like making films, you know.
hmm,
So like what I'm studying here in Mexico, I'm studying communications, but um, it's um, it's very inclined to filmmaking. So a couple of so like 2 years ago, in my first semester in college here,
hmm,
as a final project, I we had to make a we had to make a film, you know, a short film.
yeah,
We had to do a short film, and I mean, like it wasn't even that long. It lasted like 5 or 6 minutes, and it was still very expensive to make because we we had to pay the actors.
hmm.
We had to pay we had to pay for the props. You know the
For
cameras, like the setting, like pretty much everything. And the thing is, like when you're a student, you basically have no money.
yes,
So
and
like we didn't know where we were gonna get it from. So in the end,
students don't have money, and nor are they funded from anybody. Like institution is not going to fund your project.
exactly,
You have to find a way
exactly, yeah,
yourself. Yes.
exactly, yeah. And I mean, like I don't know how we were able to do it, but we we did it.
That's
But
on
yeah,
you.
it's just like pretty much every career in the arts is expensive at first.
Hmm.
For the first couple of years, like you're gonna spend a lot more than what you're gonna earn. That's for sure. Yeah.
And we have not yet touched the software part of music production, buying, because they are not free at all. Because
Yeah. Exactly.
you cannot edit your whole music in just Audacity. You have to use Adobe Audition and everything. And
Yeah. Exactly.
Adobe apps, they are like way too expensive.
Oh yes, they are. Like
Yeah.
for music production, I don't use Adobe. I use Logic Pro X,
Hmm.
which is a program made by Apple. It's a very good program, but it was very expensive to buy. You know, like it costs about $200. And but yeah, for example, I also work with Adobe Premiere for video editing.
Hmm.
I work with Photoshop. I work with Illustrator, and so like just paying that monthly subscription. It's a huge pain in the butt, and yeah, not everyone can afford it. You know,
And
I mean, they're very cool programs to use, and they're very helpful when you learn how to master them. But man, they are expensive. Yeah.
do you apart from like learning music and making your own music, do you do some kind of freelancing, like you make a track for somebody, like if someone is making a game and they need a rock kind of background when
Oh,
the boss fight is going on, and you
oh,
make
so
that track.
that's called music licensing.
Hmm.
So right, I'm considering doing that. You know, because there's very big money in there. So I mean, I haven't done it, but I do want to do it, especially right now to start making money. You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea, but I haven't tried it honestly. But yeah, like actually, a lot of musicians make their living by doing that. You know,
Hmm.
by recording tracks
For
for
individuals or small
companies.
companies, yeah. Like,
Yeah, for small companies, for video games,
hmm.
for pretty much or even for like YouTube channels. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, like because there's a lot of money in there. Yeah,
because in
but if
YouTube channel, if your music is not if your music is not licensed and royalty free, first it will get stolen, or secondly, if you are using music after stealing it, you'll get copyright claims. So
oh yeah, and like your videos can, for example, if you're a professional YouTuber,
hmm,
like right now, I don't know what the hell is happening with YouTube right now, but they're just they're becoming more strict with their
copyright issues.
copyright policies,
Yeah,
and so like basically, so right now, like if you try to do a cover of a song and upload it to YouTube, if you don't state the name of the original name of the artist the name of the original artist, I'm sorry, they can take that video down,
yeah.
or even worse, like they can even delete your account. Like it doesn't matter if you're amateur or if you're a professional YouTuber. Like YouTube can delete your account if you don't follow their copyright policy. Yeah.
And their copyright policies are also getting strict as the day passes on. Yeah.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah. Basically, I mean it's just getting really weird, and I don't I don't really understand it, but yeah, I mean like basically your videos can be either they can get demonetized
Demonetize,
or they can get
it will demonetize even after you name the artist and stuff.
yes,
You can't
yes,
monetize it.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I mean, I honestly I don't understand what that policy is about. I haven't done I haven't done any research on that, but I just know that they're becoming way more strict about that. Yeah.
And one more thing regarding YouTube, it's kind of degrading YouTube right now. It's the content creator, those who have came there long back, they have like kind of captured YouTube. They're like the big music companies. Like in India, we have T series. They are not allowing small artists to make any cover or use any of their song. And if you're a
Oh,
small,
really? Mhm.
yeah, that once there was a hype, like PewDiePie versus
Mhm.
T series in India. So T series
Yeah.
is it's the number one YouTube channel in the whole world right now, like 130
Yes.
million subscriber, I guess it is having.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it is like playing its monopoly in the music industry here in India. And what
Yeah.
it's doing is,
Yeah.
if let's say I am a small artist and I can play very nice keyboard or I can play very nice guitar, and if I play lead on any of their songs, they'll just take it down.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, here in Mexico, it's not it's not like that yet, but I know for sure for like in countries like in the U.S. or I mean, honestly, I didn't know that could happen in India, but I knew that it could happen in countries like in the U.S. You know, like you basically just can't upload video covers of any song right now because you're either gonna get it again demonetized or YouTube can just delete your account for good, you know. And I don't think I don't think that's a good thing, honestly, because like you're just you're not giving like you said, you know, you're not giving the opportunity to for to you're not giving independent. Damn it, sorry.
no,
You're
it's
not
okay.
like giving the opportunity to independent artists for
Mm.
them to
To show
for them to
to show
get
their
their name
talent.
out
Yeah.
there, you know, like for them to show their talent. Yeah, for them to showcase their talent. So and playing covers is a very good way to start off, you know.
Yeah, because
And
that is something that people will like. If let's say like Despacito, it is one of the no, it is the most played music video. So people will
yes.
obviously try to uh, make cover on that so that people will listen
Mhm.
due to its relevancy and due to it is liked by
Yeah.
people. But uh, YouTube won't let that happen.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like, oh man, Despacito was huge here in
It was
Mexico when
huge
it came
success.
out, like when it came out 3 years ago. Like, I swear to God, like anywhere you went, you would hear that song. Yeah,
And the biggest thing is that you people could at least understand what the lyrics were. People
yeah,
who doesn't even understand what the lyrics were, the music, it was so nice and it was so like charming that
hmm
it got famous worldwide.
yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
yeah. You know, like I didn't expect to hear it all the way to in Canada. You know, like,
Mm.
and I remember one day that I was going to the supermarket over there, and that song started playing on the radio on the speakers, you know,
Mm.
and I was like, man,
That
yeah,
was a huge success Luis Fonsi had.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, it's one of those like very rare cases when a song just becomes like
A sensation.
that big, you know, like it didn't, it hadn't, it like it was the first time it happened since Gangnam Style came
Yeah,
out, you know. Yeah,
because Gangnam Style was also huge. And before that, not very much. Not Luis Fonsi
yeah,
was not even that famous. Like
exactly, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
because he sings in Spanish language and only he was
Hmm.
having Spanish followers. But after that song, people came to know him. And he got recognized like worldwide. He made
Hmm.
You went to many
Yeah, exactly.
concerts and
Like,
stuff like that. It happened. Happened for the good.
yeah, exactly. Like people like didn't really understand what the lyrics were saying, but they were like they still sang it. You know, they were still singing it. You know, that's how big it got. Yeah, and I mean, like honestly, at first it was like okay, cool, but like after a while, it was like I'm sick of this song. I'm just sick of hearing it everywhere. Yeah, yeah.
Every song has that phase. Like I once read a very beautiful poem. A song a song written by an artist. It'll even if it roams all over the world, it'll come
Mhm.
back to its artist again,
Yeah,
because there's a
yeah,
life expectancy of every song. And like after 5 to 6 years again, that song people will again start to like. YouTube will start recommending it to people, but for now the hype
exactly.
is
Yeah,
gone. Yeah, because people have had enough
and
of that.
exactly. And from what I know, like that guy, the guy who sang like the guy who sang this who sang Despacito, he wasn't even the original writer. The original writer of the song was a female artist. I don't remember her name, but he was not even like the composer. He was just the guy who
Who sang it?
performed it. That
Who's,
yeah, the guy who sang it. That's it. But he was not the original writer. You know, and that's what happens a lot in the pop industry, especially. You know, like the artists that perform the songs are not the original writers.
hmm.
They are just they're just chosen by the music industry executives to sing them, to perform them, you know. And that, I mean, I don't know if I'm in favor of that because I don't know, like you're not giving they're not giving them a lot of freedom. Like they don't even own the rights to the song, you know.
Hmm.
And that's why like and that's why I'm all about like the
the
indie scene, you know, like
the baddest
because
thing, the
like
worst thing happening here is
what
the worst thing happening
uh-huh
here is that people will recognize the singer, but nobody will recognize the mind behind the lyrics, who wrote the song, who composed it.
exactly, yes, exactly, you know, and that's why I'm just all about like the independent music scene, you know, because I mean like I don't know, like for example in my case I don't know if I'm gonna become like highly popular, you know, but at least I know that I'll be able to write my own songs, that I'll have the rights to my own songs. And as a teacher once told me, as a teacher in music school once told me, never like the one thing you should never do is give up the rights to your songs.
Yes.
And I don't know, like that's why record deals don't work anymore, or like because artists have like this very false idea of what it is, you know, like they think that when you get a record deal you've made it, you know, and what they don't realize is that you're not even going to own the rights to your own songs, you know, like the record label is going to take most of the money you make, but
And even if we leave the money, they are going to take most of the credit that we are going to earn.
exactly, yeah, exactly, like you don't even get to own the rights to the songs,
Hmm.
and and sometimes like they don't even get to own the rights to their own image, you know,
Hmm.
if you know what I'm saying. So but
Like
yeah, like
again,
a lot of people still think that getting a record deal is like the best thing when in fact it's not.
like
So
it
yeah.
it might be possible that you wrote the song and you are only getting copyrighted on YouTube.
Exactly, yeah, that's exactly my point, you know.
because record label
But like,
they are very
mhm,
business minded people. They won't, they have like the least interest on what you're going to do. Once they make the money,
exactly,
you're out of the scene.
exactly, yeah, 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 yeah. That's the point. Like once you make like once you make a certain amount of money, they push you, they kick you out, and they move on to the next artist. And what's worse is, like I said, they keep most of the money. So that's why a lot of artists, even though they're highly successful, or even though they were highly successful, they end up broke. You
Hmm.
know, um, and that's why I prefer to be an independent artist, because I mean, like, at least I know that I'll be able to make my own money without a record deal taking it from me, without a record label, I'm sorry, taking it from me.
Hmm.
And at least I know that I'll be able to own the rights to my own songs. Because it wouldn't make sense to give up the rights to something that I wrote, to
That
something that I
that
invested
that is
my
your
time in
creation. Yeah.
recording. Mhm. Exactly. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, what's your opinion on all of this?
The main thing I feel that people are getting sold to record label is because the uh, initially the money that they see which is present over there, and they
Hmm.
feel that they are getting a lot of money, but actually they are not. They cannot see between the lines and they are getting sold to them.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. 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 It's like they're basically becoming like they basically become slaves in a lot of ways. Because in a way, like, they're making money for somebody else. If you know what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, exactly. Like, I agree with you on that, and that's why I think that the music business should shift. I think it should shift to the independent side of things. I think I think music festivals, booking agents, managers, pretty much all professionals in the music business and in the show business, they need to start supporting independent
Hmm.
artists. Because what record labels, like the record label business model, it's falling apart, it's crumbling. Record labels are not making money right now.
Yes.
And for me, that's a good thing, actually, because like the three, like, pretty much, there are right now there are three, um, two or three big labels that are basically just taking control and monopolizing the music business, and those record labels are Sony Music, Warner Music, and there was a third one that I cannot remember, but yeah, like, they're just monopolizing the whole business.
Hmm.
So I think that music industry professionals need to, like, shift their mindset a little bit, and start and start supporting independent artists, because whether we want it or not, that's that's the new business model. That's where people are going to make money. And like I said, record deals are falling down. Yeah. So what's your take? What do you think of this?
About music, the main thing that I think is that business and it'll come, but the first that nowadays it lacks between the in the artist is that they are making music for the sole purpose of earning money.
Yeah. Hmm.
Now the reason that I see and I feel that is the reason nowadays there is no bands like Beatles. and
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
they never
but I
made
mean, let's face
music.
it. Like.
They never made music thinking that this music will earn me millions.
Exactly. Like, here's the story about the Beatles. Actually, like those guys, they started playing in bars for 4 hours every night
Hmm.
for 4 years. So, like, I mean, like, let's face it. Like, you still gotta eat. You still gotta make a living.
Hmm.
But like, I see your point. I see your point. Because I think that there should be a balance. Like, yes, you should figure out a way to make a living from music, but don't just do it for the money.
Yeah. You are stuck. Decision.
I mean, it's possible to make a living, but I don't think, like, if you're getting into this just just for the money, then this is not the right business for you. So I don't know. That's just
Any
what I think.
any creative thing like blogging, singing,
Hmm.
dancing, it is if it is not the right business for you if you are just here for money. If you are not passionate about something,
Exactly. Like,
you cannot continue doing that.
exactly. Like, you know, here's the thing. Like, money does make you happy at first, but like, if you have no passion for what you're doing, then like no amount of money is gonna make you happy. You know. So that's what I think. Like, yes, you got to figure out a way to make a living, but especially in the creative fields, like you said, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, then this is not the right industry for you. Yeah, especially in the beginning where you're basically not going to make any
Any
money at
money.
all.
You just have to work
Yeah.
and work and work and maybe and you just have to hope and you have to be faithful that someday in the future
Yeah.
people will recognize
Hmm.
me and I'll start
Hmm.
earning a living on it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I mean, like, there's a lot of ways to get your name out there. Like, there's a lot of strategies you can follow to make it a little bit easier. But in the end, like, you have to be passionate about your work.
Obviously, like I remember
Yeah.
a quote said by Jimi Hendrix. He said, "If you want to be famous, run down the street naked. Like people will start
Yeah.
recognizing you. But if you want to be
Yeah.
great, you have to practice and you have to put your soul and heart into what you're doing. And for that,
Exactly.
first of
Yeah.
all, you have to be passionate about whatever it is that you're doing."
Exactly. Yeah. 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 By the way, I have to leave in 5 minutes. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, it's completely fine. We had a
All right.
conversation of about an hour. So
Yeah.
thank you, Andres,
Okay.
for
So,
coming.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, you're welcome, man.
yeah,
Thank you so much for inviting me, and let me know when you want to do the next one.
yeah.
We
Sure,
I
man.
think there's a lot of things we can talk about. Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, thank you for coming and thanks, man. What like it's
Mhm.
the
No, no,
like
it's
it's
okay. It's an
just
honor, man.
yeah.
But
So
yeah, right now, I think I
yeah,
have to go
you
right
have to
now.
go. Like, it's just like 11 in
Yeah.
your place.
It's almost 12 o'clock here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So all right, thank you, Andres,
so
for
yeah.
joining. Yeah,
No, it's okay.
yeah.
My
Thank you.
pleasure, man.
Yeah,
Thank you for inviting me. Well, we'll talk later, man.
yeah.
See ya.
Good night.